Hello, everyone. Now, you recall Ricky Martin. He is, a singer and entertainer. And he is now being accused of, you know, um, incest with his nephew and domestic violence. Now, recently a story came out about him that he did not want to, or he did not take the relationship ending very well, and that he was outside of his former 7-month relationship partner, stalking and pacing back and forth. And they didn't release any details of who it was that was accusing him or anything like that. Now, days later, they're now releasing that information, and it was actually Ricky Martin's brother who came out and stated that it is the nephew of Ricky Martin who has filed a order of protection against Ricky Martin and is accusing him of incest and domestic violence. Now, the nephew is 21 years of age, and he was allegedly in a 7-month relationship with Mr. Martin, which would put him still of legal age. Now, Mr. Martin, I believe, still resides in Puerto Rico. So now you see that every man that has money, and it's not just black men, but it's pretty much a lot of rich men, as we are seeing, being accused, and I'm going to say accused, allegedly, of sexual assault, and the R word, and incest now. And you know about George Foreman, two women are saying that he did something to them 45 years ago, and they were trying to extort money out of him for 6 months of 12.5 million each. So now you are seeing a nephew of Ricky Martin now stating that this is what transpired. And the thing everybody is saying, oh my God, and they're actually saying he could face up to 50 years in prison. But my question is, why would he face up to 50 years in prison if this was a consensual relationship, allegedly, and the nephew was of age? Because it is saying that he's 21, and so 7 months ago he might have been 20 and had a birthday. But however, legal age is considered 18. And so therefore, I am not really sure why, uh, it just keeps going on and on with, these outrageous stories being, you know, entertained. And all they're having to do is come out and say something happened, and people are swooping down like vultures to get a story. And I don't know when we're going to stop entertaining nonsense. And then you have people that are obsessed with, you know, stars. It's just ridiculous that the people are just obsessed with you know um, famous people or stars or actors, singers, entertainers. People are just obsessed with them, and they will say anything, do anything to get money, to get fame, to move up to financial gain. Um, and if they don't get their way as a super fan or a, a groupie extraordinaire, guess what they do? They start filing all these type of claims and coming up with all these fabrications and allegations that are false allegations that that person did something to them. And I think it's important for men to start fighting back and to, you know what, I think in his case, he said that he wasn't able to speak about a lot of the details of the case because it is a ongoing case. So I think it's good that he will handle it through his legal team. And I think it's important that a lot of men, um, you know, if you're innocent, declare you're innocent because you have fans that do want to know. But to also just say, you know what, I cannot release a lot of details of what's going on because it's ongoing, investigation. And let your legal team handle it through the courts or however it's going to go down. Because when you put yourself out there, the more you say, the more that they can turn it and twist your words and use it against you. And that happens a lot. And a lot of people talked about the R. Kelly thing where he shouldn't have never did that interview because a lot of people did. They just twisted his words around. I hear people saying all type of crazy stuff out here about him, saying, and twisting the things he said and saying he was just acting. He was just, it's just so much, that they can twist and use against you. And sometimes when you know that the scales are so tilted against you, it's like you are just gonna you're gonna be you're gonna, um, no matter what you try, they're still gonna come after you. And that's what they did, with the R. Kelly, with Mr. Robert Kelly, because R. Kelly is a brand and he's a person, and we got to stop looking at the brand and look at the actual person. He's a human being. And so with that being said, getting back to Ricky Martin, I understand what he's saying when he says I can't talk about a lot about the details of my case because it's an ongoing investigation, and that he does say that he is not guilty of these allegations that are now trending and out there on social media. And it's just really sad that we have people so obsessed that they will run with any story without vetting it, without looking into it to see what's really true. And to say that he could be facing 50 years to me is just outrageous, because the nephew uh, was of legal age, and he obviously was in a consensual relationship, if that is the case, allegedly. So I'm going to say allegedly, because not only did TMZ break the story, but there was another news outlet that broke the story as well. But they weren't saying who the person was at that time. But now it's being disclosed that it is a nephew of his, and I'm not sure why a nephew or an uncle would get involved in a relationship such as that. But as we see, there's a lot going on in this world, because I just did a video on Elon Musk, who is the father of Elon Musk, and he actually entered into a relationship with his stepdaughter and had 2 children by her, and she's now 41, but the first child was when she was 35, and now she's 41. So it just seems to be that, so much is going on with people in this world. You don't know what are their morals, a lot of people have different views, which is that's true, and people have different beliefs and different practices. We understand all of that. But it seems like the common the common denominators that we used to have as I guess as a community, or what do you call it? Common denominator as people, I would say, as people, it just seems to be not existing anymore. And the common denominator were basic things, and one of them was like, wow, I would never want to do anything like that, as far as, violating your own family member. And we know that things like that happened in the past, and a lot of family members did not report such acts. And we have a lot of women that are suffering from people that have did things to them where they've never got help. So anytime they hear that a man has violated a woman, even if the story is false and it's been fabricated, they still roll with it. And I think that's very dangerous. Eventually, we're going to have all our rich men behind bars, and they've already put a lot of men that weren't even well known, that probably were just working regular jobs, behind bars, that are now being released on different, charges that that really they shouldn't have never been charged or convicted, because they were truly innocent. And now we're seeing a lot of the rich men being charged with things, and some of them are not getting fair trials. Some of them are not getting due process. And, it's really unfortunate. But with Ricky Martin, um, it's 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 like I'm not surprised anymore, and not saying him in perspective, but I'm not surprised anymore of allegations now, like George Foreman, 45 years ago, and trying to extort money and saying that he did something to them. And then you have Ricky Martin out here, his nephew is claiming, this, and domestic violence. And what else are we going to come up with? It's going to be, what else can we actually be surprised at? I don't think we can be surprised anymore. I think we just have to tell the story, because it's already out here, a public story. So it's not like something that you're making up. The story is public. Just say alleged that it happened. You don't know that it happened for sure, but alleged, these are alleged allegations against this person. and it just has to now play out in, you know, the courtroom or court of law, and that's what really has to happen, even with the George Foreman thing, and even looking at Mr. Robert Kelly. You know, his attorney is going to file an appeal, and that's something that I'm hoping that he will win his appeal and either be vindicated, and if that doesn't happen, granted a new trial, and that people that were involved in that situation are truly held accountable. But when you look at someone that's 21 years of age, such as Ricky Martin's nephew, as they say, that's his nephew, according to his brother, um, he was of age, and he probably consented, and if it happened that way, allegedly, and now there's trouble in the waters. Trouble in the waters. And so anyway, with that being said, don't forget to leave your comments below. Don't forget to rate the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're not a subscriber. And I will talk with you all later. Bye-bye.